Welcome back to another episode of Collector's Quest. On this one, Stefan is back with Tyler and I, and we're doing another holiday episode. And I know I drag the guys into the Christmas episodes every year, and Tyler's just like, the content is so hard to get. And then Stefan's like, I don't want to do it. I don't know how. Like, we just get all these tears from them, because they have no holiday spirit. Actually, that's not it at all. It is hard to keep finding things that have to do with Christmas that are unique and surprising. So I kind of had to revamp the formula a little bit and see if I could make something else work. So on this one, I'm doing a send-up of 12 Days of Christmas. Not all the days, just one. So maybe I can keep this formula for more episodes in the future. I didn't start with number 1. We started with number 5. I don't have to do them in order. But this one, instead of 5 golden rings, it's 5 golden things that are collectible. So we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. We've got some bonus items in there. We didn't really hardcore limit it to 5, but we have 5 that we give a good talking to about. The episode's about 2 hours. You guys will probably hear us go through and be like, hey, they didn't talk about the NWC Gold. And that was intentional. Everyone knows about the NWC Gold. It's not incredibly interesting. And also, I know we're going to have to talk about it later, and we'll probably have to have an episode where we talk about NWCs very specifically. And I'm kind of waiting for one of the gold ones to hit Heritage, because the way the gold has sold, grays have outpaced pricing on what golds have previously sold for, but a gold has never been in Heritage. So I wanted to wait. So if you're wondering if that's coming, it's not coming. Don't worry about it. Just put NWC Gold out of your mind. You don't have to worry about it now. I told you about it. Here comes the episode. 5 golden things. Hope you like it. And if you do, please go to iTunes and give us a review. If you like it. If you don't like it, don't do that. Why are you listening if you don't like us? You don't have to do this. Just part ways with us now. It's a clean break. I'm going to miss you. I'll miss you so much. But if you don't like this, don't stay here, because these episodes are always long and you have things to do in your life. Don't do it to yourself.
Hey, the first half of the episode, someone, I won't name names, was recording on their webcam, so I had to use the Skype audio for both people to ease in editing. So the second half of the show has better audio quality.
All right. Let's go!
Back to another episode of Collector's Quest. I'm Tyler here with Johnny and Stefan. We're back. Happy Valentine's Day, guys.
Woo!
We are here to talk about 5 golden rings you might want to give your spouse when you propose to them this coming Valentine's Day, which any day now by the time this episode is released.
Yeah. We are right on track for the holidays. We're doing great. But no, as Tyler was saying, as a takeoff of 5 golden rings, this episode, we are bringing you 5 golden things that are collectible that we're going to tell you about this Christmas season. So you can decide whether you are interested in trying to purchase these items or not. We'll talk a little bit about them and maybe give you a bonus item or 5 just to throw in there. So, I think we can jump right into it unless you guys want to do 42 minutes of banter before we get to the actual episode.
I want to give Stefan a chance to say one word in the first minute of the podcast. Stefan, how do you feel about the fact that we're doing a 5 golden things episode? I think that concept is fine. I hate the pun. Johnny loves the pun.
I mean, puns aren't my favorite. I could do that.
You guys don't like puns?
I do like puns.
I'm base level upset that we're not doing. I just don't like that we're not doing mailbag episodes. We should just always do mailbag episodes. That should be.
No, that's not content for people.
I just want to come in and answer people's questions and go away.
I honestly love the Reserved Investments mailbag episodes, Stefan. I listen to every one of them.
But Tyler, you hate interview episodes.
I hate interview episodes.
Yes, and a mailbag is basically a self-interview.
No, you only have to do one question in and out, and I'm the one who gets to talk. It's not the guest who does the talking. I'm the star of the show, Johnny. I don't need some guest coming in here talking about in 2007 I started collecting N64 games. Who cares? We all collect video games, god damn it.
Oh, so you're saying that there's no one out there that you would like to talk to or has anything worthwhile to contribute that you may not know about?
And certainly no one ever asked us to be on the show.
I'm just kidding. Robin Mahara, please come on this show and talk to us about losing the Nintendo World Championships. What?
That's harsh.
Yeah, why you gotta do him like that?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the Christmas season. Talk to us about being one of the biggest celebrities in gaming since you did so well at the Nintendo World Championships.
And then in exchange, Robin, he'll come on your show and talk about being a huge dick.
I'm sorry. I'm a huge dick.
It's just rough. You know what? I think your problem is I think you've been hanging out on the Facebook groups too much.
And you've just seen how those people talk to each other. It is zapping my motivation to care about video games, Johnny.
It's a real problem, actually.
It's like one of those like documentarians that like study these like abstract cultures like from the outside, these like rare like hidden away cultures, and then slowly he just becomes one of them. That's what's happening here.
Well, I'm certainly not becoming one of them, but
no, I agree with Tyler though. I think the kind of insular nature and the way they interact with each other and with games is a little bit problematic, and it, I could go into all the things I dislike about it. But those people are allowed to go do their thing. If they're enjoying it, they're profiteering and making their money. Cool. Good for those guys. I'm not going to go on them, but it does like the way they go about it becomes a bit of a drain, because that's why like they are investors and investors can be collectors, but they aren't necessarily the same thing. The way that gamers are also kind of collectors, but that isn't the same thing either. It's a perception issue.
Yeah. And there's different, I don't know how to say it, layers of subtlety to the way people hype the stuff that they want to increase in value. Like, yeah, some people are all about like showing off their cool stuff and like their expensive stuff, things like that. But some people come into these groups and they're just like, check this out, guys. This should be worth $20,000, right? Because this is the real first print. It should be worth $20,000. Why aren't you guys paying $20,000 for this? I'll show you all. You fucking idiots. This is going to Heritage Auctions. This is going to go for $30,000, $80,000. I don't know. But this is the next big thing. Diddy Kong Racing, the N64 Japanese version. like what is some of these?
Look at the severely undervalued thing I just found out about.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to you guys kind of offline about some of like the insular nature of that. The idea that we've talked about on the podcast the the narcissism of minor differences.
Yep.
And that's what print runs are, right? Like, everyone wants to say action 50 is the action number one. Like, no, it's not. Okay. I get why you're trying to make the comparisons, but like reprints for that and later prints came at like much different times. But imagine if there was 100 of them, are just available in like varying conditions laying around that all came out at the same time, like, and still available. That's like what the Marios are, but they're, so people like, they want to draw these comparisons and it's close. I think, I think there's a spectrum for that, but also you have to be so into the minor differences of a thing, and it has to be common enough for there to be a bunch of minor variants. That's where the rarity of these prints comes from, right? Because there are so many different variations, and to have that many variations, there has to be millions of them made. So it feels a little less special. And then all these people go and like, so I just see the same group of like 30 Nintendo games over and over that people talk about because they've got the like.
Well, not only the same 30 Nintendo games, but then also just traded among the same 20 people.
Right.
Right. Like, I mean, like, they're all feeding money into each other. It's a snake eating its own tail.
Well, I mean, and the hobby, like, I'm not going to say the hobby's not growing and like things aren't going well. And like, hey, like you got to like Sweetwater grade, like, it's become more about the rarity of the grade in some cases.
Oh, 100%.
And the rarity of the item itself, which yeah,
everybody talks about like, population, right? Like, oh, population 2 and 9.6 or like what, like everyone's so much more obsessed about the grade than the actual rarity of the item.
Right. Like, Super Mario Brothers 3, the most printed Nintendo game ever. I don't care that there are only 4 9.8s or whatever the fucking population is. It is the most common game. It is the Instagram joke of how to get likes on a photo. Like,
sure is.
You know, so just guys, like move on. Like I'm into all the minor stuff, but can you guys move into some of the deeper actual rare game? Like, please do a deep dive on Sword Quest so I can learn more about Sword Quest. You know, just go look at some game that I haven't thought of in a long time that like will get me excited. Like, it doesn't have to be super rare. Like, go look at the Magic of Sherazade or something, and tell me about the rarest print of that. Get me excited for some of that.
That's why I can't quit these groups, because sometimes they'll go into that and will post like some weird variant of something. So like that is the good part, that 2 years ago on Collector's Quest, we were never talking about sticker sealed black box games. Because, like, only the weird black box people cared about going that deep into that kind of thing. And now, everyone in game collecting is just like, oh yeah, the sticker seals, of course, one sold for $100,000. Everyone knows all the basic black box variants now.
I did love when the VVG Club, or whatever his name is, was like, here's the entire print set of Star Voyager. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, like, we get into this, and like it's like some of the stuff that people obsess on. You're just like, they show you, like, I'm sorry, same guy. Every time he shows gotcha and tells me like what rare variant that, like, no one gives
gotcha,
a
no
about...
rev. That's a cool variant, Johnny. That's always been a cool variant. Don't you start
gotcha,
on gotcha.
I'm going to take a diarrhea on gotcha. And then I'm going to wait 8 hours, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to eat a bunch of fiber and make sure I get multiple dumps on gotcha, because that game is trash. And amongst collectors, it was trash forever.
No, not right? 5-screw.
No one really cares. Like, okay, what this one-off? That's what I'm saying. It's the narcissism of minor differences. Like, oh, but that's 5-screw. Did you hear yourself? It's fucking gotcha.
Yeah. I love how Tyler is like, I'm not becoming one of them.
No,
but that 5-screw gotcha.
So I thought 5-screw gotcha was cool before 2019. This is kind of my barometer now. Like, I actively try to not get sucked into the hype people try to create around variants and things like that. If I didn't care about something 2 years ago, why should I care more about it now just because I see it a lot more? And especially with things like grades, like, no one graded 2 years ago. I'd have graded Steel Battalion and Steel Battalion Line of Contact 2 years ago. But no one cared. There was no difference between a 9.0 and a 9.4 2 years ago. People were just like, oh, that's a nice complete in box game, or that's a nice sealed game, or whatever it is. So my barometer is not to look at the grade and like think about like a number like, oh, I really need to get that number. It's, do I want a nice game? All right, I'll buy a nice game. And that's where I'm still at.
Hey, I know this isn't necessarily our topic, but there's something sort of tangentially related to this that I did want to talk about that just recently happened. Did you guys see all the molded games?
No.
Molded sealed games?
There's a wet Deadly Towers hang tab still sitting $49, opening bid or best offer.
Yeah,
so the moldy Metroid.
So yeah, there was a Super Metroid, I know that sold. It was like $230 something, and it's sealed, and it was listed in the auction as still moist. It wasn't just like that the item at some point got water damage and it was molded. It was still wet. And the guy came onto the one of the groups and was just like, yeah, how do I fix this? And it's just like, there's no
throw it
what?
Out.
Like, I was like, please, that is like literally dangerous to the rest of your collection. If you insist on keeping it, please keep it far away from everything else in your room, because mold can jump. I don't know if people know a lot that. Like, I actually had a problem with that in my board game collection at one point, because there had gotten some mold in one of my board games and it infected the board games that it was next to. That's like a thing that happens. But yeah, it just like, it's crazy to me because like the seal, when you buy a sealed game, this should be like an indicator of like, yes, this is a beautiful copy of this game, right? But when you get to the point where like the physical seal is more important to you by factors, obviously, than the actual condition of the game, like what the are you collecting?
Stefan, it's exactly that. This exact mold thing is what got me. So I think a Ghosts and Goblins sold for $8,000 sealed. And it's like, at what point you're just fetishizing the seal itself? It doesn't matter. The whole exciting idea of a brand new game is that it's theoretically like near mint inside. You know it's 100% complete. It's essentially perfect. Yeah. If it's moldy on the outside, you don't know it's probably moldy on the inside. So no matter what you could do about the mold on the outside, it's still a screwed up game.
Yeah, if those games would have come up molded and CIB, they wouldn't have sold. No one would have bought.
Yeah, it would have been like literally.
Also, if they weren't like, if they weren't sealed, if they were CIB, you could have remediated them to a degree.
Well, sure, but you know what? Like no one would have been interested in molded games if they weren't sealed. Yeah. And like Tyler said, people are fetishizing the seal so much that they're buying literal health hazards to put in their game room.
Yeah. So, it's super weird, and I wish people would not do that. You know, the current like investor / collector scene has gotten a little weird. It made me recall two theories. Like kind of one is a world theory, one is like a comms theory or a behavioral theory. Are you familiar with something called cultivation theory?
Nope.
No, but we're about to be.
Okay. So cultivation theory was something that basically started in the 60s, and it had to do with television, because they were saying the more someone was exposed to something, right, that the more they believed it was true, and that the television was skewing the worldview because it was, portraying a very specific world, through a television lens, or, through a television screen, through a camera lens. It was a distilled message from someone who was controlling the message, and it was making people believe things were true, even if they weren't necessarily, or more true than they were actually. Because you can take a minor thing, and you may have seen this in media lately, where you can take this minor thing, but if you put a camera lens on it and you put it on 40 news stations, it seems like a bigger, much more impactful thing than it is, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what cultivation theory is. And this isn't commentary necessarily on everything that's going on, because there's definitely, this is a long running thing. But in video games, now that social media is here, cultivation theory works on people who are in forums. If you are in an insular community like we are, and you're only seeing the same things over and over, and you start to hear, this is the thing you collect, this is the thing, this is the thing. And like, we would even be part of it. Like, you collect this, go look for this thing. Like, you just start to believe those things are true. Right?
Shelley Duvall's It's a Bird's Life. We need to start mentioning it more so people are like, oh yeah, Shelley Duvall's It's a Bird's Life. Yeah, and then it won't go down in value like it did over the past however many years.
Whenever we stop talking about it.
Yep. I'm not going to go into like that. There's a lot more to cultivation theory, and that is like really the back of the book summary of cultivation theory. I'm not doing it any kind of justice. But, you see this belief that makes true. And then it goes into another theory that like goes with it, which is called the mean world theory. And not mean like, oh, you're making me cry because you say mean things.
I mean, it is, though. The world is like that.
I mean, it is. But mean as in like the math mean, drawing to the middle, the average. So if all these things are true, it starts to push things, to everybody believing the same set of things. And because they are blinded by cultivation theory, right? Their lens is so small, they're not seeing enough other things. So then everybody just starts homogenizing. So mean world theory draws everyone to a central point of things that they believe are true. Like, everyone's collecting sealed black box hang tab variants. Now, this is the only thing we collect. These are the only things that matter. And there's like this whole world of video games out there, but the lens is getting so focused and everyone is drawing into this narrow median or mean. So those are just like, if you're interested in theory and stuff and how you can apply it outside, I like to bring a theory into the podcast every once in a while for people to digest. Yeah, go check out mean world theory or cultivation theory and see how they apply today, because they were written about different things, but you can definitely apply them to the collecting experience as is right now.
Johnny, I really love it when you call people stupid in very intelligent ways.
Ooh, it was very smart sounding, Johnny. And it's very topical to the world of video games right now. And so now that this section of the show is over, let's move on to our next section. Everybody's talking about Pokemon cards, guys. I think Pokemon cards are what we should all be buying right now.
Yeah, well, that Pokemon is like an excellent thing, right? Like all these people got sucked into the same thing. Like those theories enacted themselves. It's the shiny new thing. Everyone talked about it. Everyone's social media channels became those things. And then everyone's like, should I be collecting Pokemon cards? I think I should. Should I be selling all of my games to buy Pokemon cards? I think that's what I need to be doing. How many posts have you seen like that? Like we say that's a joke, but I can count at least 10 times I've seen this from people. I have 10 examples of people who were collecting games who wanted to sell some of their games so they could get Pokemon cards. I've personally been hit up. Hey, you want to buy this? I'm trying to get into Pokemon right now, so I need to leverage some of my other assets so I can pick up these. These are terms. People are telling me they're leveraging their video game assets so they can buy in now.
I need to get a bigger position in Pokemon.
Yeah, I really got to drive my position in Pokemon, so I'm going to leverage my current assets by liquidating my video. Like, no, stop it, my junior investors club. Like, I'm not saying that, in the current world, like collectibles aren't a thing to diversify into. Like, no one knows what's going on with markets anymore. It's such rogue speculation, and I'm not going to tell you how to invest your money, but maybe do more research before you just decide to sell everything you own to buy some Pokemon cards. Please be responsible. Or to buy a sealed black box game. These things can bite you. Settle down, guys.
All right.
All right. So I know Johnny wanted to jump right into it. So guys, I'm really glad we jumped right into it with 5 gold things.
You gave me a chance to say something, and I just threw us off into a tangent. So
I knew we were going to get to this. I had all of this prepared beforehand.
I really, really wanted to talk about the moldy games all week. So
Josh Byerly bought 2 of the eBay ones.
Yeah, I bet he did.
Yeah. So you go send him a text and tell him stop.
Josh. How wet do those games? How wet do they make? But how wet are they?
So the eBay one, so the Super Metroid was 100% garbage. The eBay ones were like super nice, except that they were moldy. Like I still wouldn't touch them I wouldn't take them for free, but it's kind of like just a shame.
Like that Deadly Towers is actually not terrible looking until you read that it has mold on it. And I'm like, I don't give a shit about that. I'm not bringing mold into my house.
And if it's active mold too, like, because like the Super Metroid one, again, still wet, actively wet. If it's live mold, like even if you slab that shit, especially if you slab that shit, actually, that it's very likely that could encourage it to grow more. Like
I actually would love to see that, because then it becomes cultivation theory of its own, right? We just see how much mold you can cultivate.
Yeah. Yeah, like I want to see like a Wada Petri dish. That's what I want.
I would love to see that, actually. Like, you're afraid if it falls in some water, it becomes Swamp Thing. I'm into it. Like, do it.
So now that we've brought this up, I want everyone to remember this, because I checked the eBay sold listings for these mold games. A lot of them went to different sellers. I guarantee within the next year, we're going to see one of these on Heritage Auctions, because someone is just trying to get a 4.0 or whatever it's going to grade at. And someone's going to look at it and buy it. They're not going to be like, oh, that's a moldy game. They're just going to be like, that's a 4.0. Let me do my math on what this grade is worth. I'm
not sure. Like, I would think so. Heritage, for better or worse, actually like understands, archival process and the like value of not having mold in your fucking space. So because you have to actually send those items to Heritage, like in their facility for them to auction them, they may actually turn them down when they see the word mold.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know if I was auctioning off things that routinely sell for like hundreds of $1,000s. If I want a thing that's going to sell for $2,000 with a bunch of mold on it in my place.
Valerie, if you're listening to our podcast, I don't know if you listen, please don't fucking auction off these molded games.
I don't think people from Heritage listen to our stuff, do they?
We're influencers, Johnny. Come on.
Are we? I forgot to put on my influencer time.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Now that Dennis has his own podcast, it's him, Josh, and the other guy whose name I don't know. I'm so sorry. I'm I'm sorry, Stefan, do you know the other guy?
No, Stefan's an influencer.
No, but I
now.
love that in the process of you genuinely not knowing his name, you just sounded like a fucking asshole.
Ooh,
I mostly bring it up because did they make 2 episodes? Maybe they made 2 episodes, but guys, make more content. Come on.
Dennis, Josh, and the other guy.
What?
That should be the name of the podcast.
I can't name everyone on Narc, and I love Narc. We got CWR2 Chris, we got Rip, and I don't know anyone else on that show.
John.
Yeah. Well, sorry, John.
Rip
John,
that podcast, am I right?
So, let's talk about some influencer stuff since we're still off topic. Let's talk about Stefan, man. We'll probably bring it up at the end of the show, but your little YouTube channel, I love when you call somebody's little something, how insulting that is. It's like one of my favorite games to play. But yeah, you did YouTube face already, which I hate so fucking much. I cannot tell you. That is a perfect example of cultivation theory. Or maybe not. I'm not an expert, so I shouldn't say it's a perfect example. But you can see how things homogenize themselves. So if you look at YouTube face, I also call it reaction face. Hate it so much. Every YouTube video, somebody's making some stupid face, so you know exactly how they feel about the thing that they're going to talk about. If you're just gonna tell me how you feel, do I need to watch your video? It's like, oh, Phantom Menace, big frowny face. So I guess you don't like Phantom Menace. Cool. Got the whole content of your video by your fucking face. I no longer need to look at it. That's not a general complaint at you. That's just at YouTube content creators in general. Yeah. Also, you did an unboxing video. So I think now that you've done YouTube face and an unboxing
video where I spent like 5 minutes being completely wrong about something, that was pretty great.
Well, I just want to say, I think you can officially also being wrong about something, you can definitely call yourself, that's the influencer trifecta. You've done it. Okay.
But I did actually do like an editor's cutaway where I explained that I was wrong right before that. So I did own up to it, at least.
I know. I watch your videos.
I know, but not everyone here does.
Tyler watches your videos.
No, but I mean,
watch your stupid videos. I'm very proud of your set because it looked like garbage when we first set it up, and then you fixed the framing a bit, and now it looks great.
Thanks.
Still need some more. Our critiques come from wanting you to succeed more. I wish you would take off the goddamn hat and shave the patchy parts of your beard.
Nah.
No, it looks awful. You don't look professional. I'm telling you, it kills me. I'm like, I want you to succeed. But you know who you look like now? You just look like, Johnny Fingerdicks.
Wait, Johnny, you have some YouTube videos. You're telling me you don't wear a hat on YouTube? I wear a hat on YouTube.
I don't. I usually don't show my face on YouTube. I'm not I'm not trying to be an extreme character on YouTube. I have a face for podcasts and radio. I'm not actually like very weird looking or anything at all. But no, I'm not trying to be a personality out there. I was never trying to sell myself. When I put out content, it's usually like, what my last content on YouTube was? It was some Harry Potter ornaments that called storytellers. And when you push a button, they all tell a little story. They all interact with each other. And I just put them all together. So someone, if you were looking, like, I would want to know, I'm like, what's the whole scene do like if they're all together? Could someone show me that? That's the kind of shit I do. I don't even talk in that video. I put a title up and I just hit record and walk away.
I remember when I found a Genesis variants video of yours, and I wasn't even looking for your content. I was just looking for information on Genesis variants, and it happened to be your content. That was pretty good. Yeah, good video.
And you saw my hands, and the only thing you see of mine is my hands.
Your sexy hands.
Kind of small.
Your strong
not very
hands.
Sexy. No, hands aren't my best feature. There's a lot of horrible jokes I'm not going to make right now. Anyways, just shave the patchy part of your beard. Take off your hat. You got a nice looking face. You clean up well.
You know what? Normally it's just that I forget, and then by the time I remember, then I've already shot the video, and it's just,
don't do that.
It's
do a look in the mirror.
It's Armageddon. It's fine.
No, that's not a good excuse. You're starting your channel. You got a baby channel. You want to go be successful.
All the YouTubers got apocalypse fat, and it's fine.
No, it's not like you, but you don't need to stoop to their level. You're better than them. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you.
I don't want you to look like Metal Jesus and Johnny Fingerdicks out there.
I don't know who Johnny Fingerdicks is, but I love
John
the name.
Hancock.
Oh, okay.
John Hancock.
Johnny Fingerdicks.
That's what I call him.
It's like it's the sequel to Johnny Bazooka Tone.
Yeah, I just like I couldn't think of his name one day, so I called him Johnny Fingerdicks because it's Hancock. My brain got to Johnny Fingerdicks. So that's
now it's funnier.
Yeah. So now that's just what I call him. I'm just like, it's Johnny Fingerdicks.
Like Johnny Appleseed. Johnny Fingerdicks. That's
pretty
good.
So anyways, I think we can now, we've almost done 40 minutes of it, or 30 minutes of the rambling, which we love to do before the episode. Let's get to 5 golden things for the people. I thought that was a fun starter conversation.
All right, are you guys recording? So you want to start the show now? Do you want to start recording and we can get this thing on the road?
No, I am recording. That's all recorded.
Yes. Okay. All right. Let me just get ready to start. I'm just going to get a drink and...
Shut up. I don't think we did tell them what the podcast topic was, though. So yeah.
I did. I told them 5 golden things, 5 collectible items that happen to be gold, like plated or colored, mainly colored. Maybe
why is that on theme,
gold.
Johnny?
Oh, because 5 golden rings, so 5 golden things.
Ah,
yeah. Not also like gold is just a Christmas color, and Zelda is also gold. So, we got some mutual tie-ins here. I want to do a couple other, takeoffs on the 12 Days of Christmas song. I really want to do one Final Fantasy,
Are we gonna try to shovel in another episode before the New Year's?
Yes, I would love to have that. I would love to have at least 2 episodes go out this month, since we've been a little slim on content.
Yeah, Tyler.
It's not Tyler's fault. You couldn't even record the last show. How dare you?
I know.
All right. So, Tyler, you've got the best item, I think, the coolest story. So, why don't you go ahead with the first of our 5 golden things?
Oh my God. Okay. Are we starting the show with the showstopper then, Johnny?
Yeah. We've already drifted. We need something to reel them back in.
That is an excellent point. So, my 5 golden things. We're supposed to pick 5 golden things because I've got 5 different objects, right?
So yeah, total of 15 golden things, right?
Right.
I'm ready to go. Let's go.
The Atari Sword Quest artifacts, the prizes that you were supposed to win for winning the Sword Quest video game contests, I guess. So
there was a contest for the game Sword Quest on Atari, which you could win something.
Sword Quest kind of is half a contest, half a game. So like the games kind of suck. The whole idea of the games is that they were supposed to be kind of a sequel to Adventure. They're like these top-down sort of action-adventure games. And you would find clues in the game that match up with, or that you use to interpret with clues that come in a comic book that came with the game. And they were like, it's like a DC comic book, like George Perez made it. Like, it's like legit stuff. And then...
Tyler, you can't tell I'm raising my hand, but I'm raising my hand.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes?
How many of these games are there?
Well, Stefan, that's an excellent question. So the plan was there would be 4 Sword Quest games. Each of them would have an individual winner with an individual golden prize. And then the winners of those 4 contests would have like a kind of a grand championship to win the ultimate prize, which was like the Sorcerer's Sword. I don't remember exactly what it's called. You would think I wrote that down in my notes. But basically, so Earthworld had the Talisman of Penultimate Truth, which was it was like a disc that was studded with diamonds. And then Sword Quest Fireworld had the Chalice of Light. My personal favorite, it is the true holy grail of video games because there is only one of them. We know it exists. We know who owns it. And, it's a holy grail. Again, golden, silver, and completely covered in gemstones, all these things. Sword Quest Waterworld, you would win the Crown of Life, which a crown obviously studded with a bunch of sapphires and rubies and diamonds and stuff. And then Sword Quest Airworld was supposed to have the Philosopher's Stone, which was a giant piece of white jade that was in a golden box, again, totally encrusted with gemstones. That one, there's like illustrations of it. I'm pretty sure there's no picture of that one actually existing. But each of those things was valued at $25,000 was the goal for that. And then the 4 winners would go have their own contest for the sword. The sword was valued at $50,000. So what actually happened? Because guess what? There's no Sword Quest Airworld. So when these games were made in 1983, through 1984. So I think it was all supposed to take place in 1 year, and then it just kept getting delayed, and then they kind of screwed up Waterworld, and then Airworld never got made. So Sword Quest Earthworld went great. I think 7 or 8 people actually figured out the riddle between the game and the comic book, and then they were flown into Sunnyvale, California, where they played a special version of the game, and then the winner of that, I believe was the first person to complete that game, won the talisman. And then Sword Quest Fireworld had too many winners. So they made everyone who figured out the riddle write an essay about what they liked about Sword Quest Fireworld, which is just a super shitty thing to do. And then the top 50 essay winners were flown to Sunnyvale to compete for the Chalice of Light. What was that, Johnny?
I said, oh, great, homework.
Yeah, right?
Especially like a bunch of kids, that's exactly what that sounds like. Oh, good, I get to do homework. Thank you.
Tyler, I have another question.
What's up?
So you mentioned this talisman as the first prize for Earthworld. Where is that today?
So the talisman was melted down for its gold value of about $15,000 at the time, and then the guy kept the gemstones. I don't actually. Do you remember when that was melted down?
No, but it would have been at the time because it was for college money.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's hard to judge the guy for doing that. At the same time, like, you destroyed one of the coolest pieces of gaming history ever, so it's hard to not be a little bit mad at you for that.
I want to know that
forever mad.
I want to know that he was like a big like Thanos fan and like made an Infinity Gauntlet out of the gemstones like that.
Cool. I just want to know how much it would go for. At Heritage Auction, had he not melted it down.
Well, and that's kind of an interesting thing too, right? Because these have like inherent value to the actual physical object, like aside from any of the like the lore or any of the collectability. Essentially, like you would have to start your baseline at whatever the actual value of the like golden gemstones were. Yeah. It would be fascinating to see something like this go at auction.
Absolutely. The weird thing, all this stuff was made by the Franklin Mint, which is sort of like limited run games for boomers. Like they make a bunch of essentially fake limited collectibles. Like, oh, this special 9/11 coin. We're only making 3,000 of them for 3,000 victims. That is a terrible example. Cut that from the show.
Where did you?
The Franklin Mint sucks.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Jesus.
Well, you can just bring up like a winter village or something.
Star Trek plates? They made thousands of Star Trek plates, and you went with 9/11.
9/11?
I was thinking of collectible coins because Franklin Mint, and you could actually buy coins that are slabbed that were found at 9/11. They're called like Ground Zero coins. I was just thinking of that, so that it made that connection with the Franklin Mint.
Terrible. It reminds me of the wine you can buy off the Titanic. That's a thing.
You can buy. That's weird.
That's weird. Yeah, you're right.
All this is weird. Anyway, okay. So Sword Quest, Fireworld, Mike Rideout. Everybody go find Michael Rideout. Find his contact info. All you guys who've never heard this story before, go start pestering him to sell you that chalice, which I'm sure he will never do because he's held onto it for 40 years. And in my opinion, he's the coolest game collector ever, even if he has zero games.
Plus his last name is Rideout, and that's pretty cool. That's just a cool guy name. Rideout. His last name is Rideout. That's just a cool guy name.
So he's got pictures of it when he won it at the time and recent pictures of it. I think 2017 is the last picture we have of it, and he keeps it in like a safety deposit box. Good on you, Mike Rideout, for not melting that down.
I mean, if you're keeping it in a safety deposit box, though, please just sell it. Like, get that thing, like, just put an alarm in your home and insure it.
I mean, it's his personal thing. Like, he won that. I think he likes owning it. I don't think he's just having it for, like, the value of it. I think he really likes that he owns it.
He could donate it to a museum and not pay taxes for a long time.
Well, I wouldn't, because I would want to see what it goes for at auction. I wouldn't want to try to get it appraised.
That's fair.
So Waterworld is the weird one, or where things start to get weird, because Jack Tramiel bought Atari, and then the Waterworld contest was basically only held because Atari advertised it, so they were legally obligated to hold the contest. So they secretly flew the winners of that contest to Sunnyvale, and then theoretically, whoever won that was awarded the crown. So they could have also taken a cash option instead. So either they took the crown or the cash, but the crown is somewhere, and we don't know where it is. And then Sword Quest Waterworld video game crash in 1984, or Sword Quest Air World, due to the video game crash, was just entirely canceled. So
I would like to think the crown is at Cash for Gold.
I mean, that's the thing. It could be at Cash for Gold.
In a pawn shop somewhere. God, can you imagine? Like somewhere in Kentucky. It's just a fucking gold crown sitting in a pawn shop.
I mean, the crown's the real question mark. So actually, my 5 golden thing, even though my chalice is like my favorite video game thing, it's not, but I'm going to say it is. The crown is the real interesting one because we don't know where it is. Because the sword and philosopher's stone were made by Franklin Mint, but some people say like Jack Tramiel stole them, like they saw the sword hanging in his house. I'm pretty sure those are bullshit. Like someone was like mistaking something I saw in Jack Tramiel's house, because there's no legal way he would have to basically steal those things from Atari, and because they're worth tens of thousands of dollars. Most likely those were returned to Franklin Mint and melted down, which is pretty unfortunate. So,
I mean, I don't know about that. There's certainly, this hobby thrives on things that should not have been stolen and yet were, and years later were sold. So, like,
guys, if you have a copy of Cheetah Men 2, I'm looking for a copy of Cheetah Men 2.
There is certainly a path in which that sword would end up at Jack Tramiel's house, 100%. Like, I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying that, like, just because, like, oh yeah, he would have no legal recourse. That, like, he could absolutely have that sword.
I mean, I want to believe that story only because Jack Tramiel seems like a kind of a douchebag that would steal a sword from a company that he bought. So there's weirdly, there's like not lots. There's at least a few recent articles about the fate of all of these objects on Atari Obscura, and like Eurogamer is like reporting on Atari lost artifacts. And there was an Atari historian who said that most likely the Jack Tramiel story is bullshit. Most likely they were returned to Franklin Mint and melted down, but again, who knows? So Sword and Philosopher's Stone potentially out there. Crown almost definitely out there. Go find these. That's my story, Johnny. I really love all the Sword Quest artifacts. I think they're some of the coolest pieces of gaming history.
The Philosopher's Stone was actually melted down and turned into 9/11 victim coins.
Oh,
that's
no.
actually that's how that happened.
I mean, can we just move away from that? Maybe.
Man.
Maybe.
Stefan, why you doing this, Stefan? You're ruining Collector's Quest.
That's true.
All right.
I had a reason to make my connection. Anyway,
no, you did not,
Johnny.
Okay.
Really didn't.
So, Stefan, do you want to tell us about your item, your gold thing?
Sure. Yeah, I'll talk to you about the Brazilian Super Nintendo Gold controllers. So, these controllers were used in a couple things. They were most notably a prize for a contest in Brazil, similar to like the Nintendo World Championships, that kind of tournament. Also, though, and this information I'm getting from Dan Gomez, aka Super Nintendo, but saying that they were also a pack-in for one of the soccer games. So they're exceedingly rare. I don't know what the edition size is, but they were all made by hand. And they were essentially SNES controllers that were taken apart and spray painted gold. Obviously, that makes it kind of difficult to authenticate. However, there are a few telltale signs that are like better indicators that the controller would be authentic. First of all, like, actually, again, these were spray painted gold, so you can color match if you have one that is authentic or pictures of one that is authentic. And actually, there's some really good pictures on SNES Central of an authentic controller. But a couple things to know: it should be the SNES model SNS model 102. Is the controller model, and then the back imprint on the back of these controllers will have not just the Super Nintendo stamp, but also the Super Famicom stamp side by side, embossed into the back. The shoulder buttons are not painted and should not be painted, and then on the inside, there's going to be a serialized sticker. If you take the controller apart, there's a serialized sticker that will have, God, what the hell is the name of it's the Brazilian subsidiary of Nintendo, and their name is escaping me right now. But it has their name imprinted on the inside on the board, on the actual board of the controller. So there's definitely, if you see a gold Super Nintendo controller, again, like wear marks around the thumb pad, and then all those little telltale signs I was mentioning, the shoulder buttons not being painted, the sticker on the inside, the embossed imprint on the back of the controller. So there's some ways that you can actually tell that it is authentic. So as far as value goes, the last two that have sold for about $500 a piece.
Okay.
And, what?
You said 5? I thought it was $5,000, and I'm just like, what is Stefan doing?
Nope.
Okay.
500.
Much more reasonable.
And Tyler said, "What was Stefan doing? Because one of those $500 sales is mine." I just recently...
boy, Stefan. It sure seems like you know a lot more about this controller than the last time we talked about it.
Yeah, that's weird because we did kind of talk about it in an episode, and just like for the people, we said soccer game, but it's International Superstar Deluxe. It was a Super Nintendo pack-in, but also speculation that was for a Blockbuster Championship.
Yeah.
Right, and then you should know that. Because this is coming from a foreign country, that doesn't matter. It's still like the lavender and the purple buttons, not the Famicom buttons that are.
Yeah,
like
it is a Brazilian edition of the controller, right?
Yeah. Which looks like the American.
Then the sticker I was talking about on the inside, it's Gradient, but it's the Brazilian spelling. So GRADIENTE. Gradient Entertainment is what that label on the inside of the controller should say. Nice. And that is the Brazilian subsidiary of Nintendo.
And it's a good thing they didn't paint those shoulder buttons. Otherwise, that paint would have worn off, right, Stefan? Because these are so often found in great condition because they didn't paint those buttons.
Yeah. Well, not the other place that there's a lot of wear is around the edges on the back. So like around the lobe on either side of the controller. Basically anywhere where someone would have gripped the controller tightly. You'll find wear patterns. Also, again, it was spray painted by hand, so the screw holes will be unpainted because of the angle in which they sprayed those controllers. Huh. So this is like one of those times. I think I've talked about it before, where like some incredibly rare items, I would rather have it be a little bit worn to show authenticity. This is another example of that case where if somebody brought me one of these controllers with like spanking brand new paint on it, or like just like unworn paint, I would be incredibly suspect of its authenticity.
Sure. Well, I'm honestly, because you told me that it's worth an order of magnitude less than I thought it was, I'm more enthusiastic about this as a cool object.
Yeah, I like this. I would have bought it. Dan didn't hit me up for this, but I would have paid $500. Because I love gold. No, I just love Super Nintendo.
Dan hit me up for it. I don't know. Do you have a bad relationship with Dan? What's going on, Johnny?
No, I think Dan hit me up to buy some Halloween stuff. So
yeah,
I think he was like, this is where Johnny's money is going to go, and he's not really spending that much money on games. So I'm asking for a chunk, so can't hit him up for an additional $500.
I think Dan also knows by now kind of the three of our wheelhouses. So
yeah, and Dan, I don't buy a lot of stuff from you, but keep hitting me up. It makes me feel special. One day I'm going to pull that trigger.
Keep hitting me up just so I can turn it down and feel special.
Yeah. Dan's trying to turn into Stefan, right? Dan's like, video games, those are for children. I collect one-of-a-kind collectibles now.
Yeah.
Dan is already, like, Dan has been transforming his collection for a while. Like, he's been shifting since he was Super Nintendo, like, with actual Super Nintendo stuff, into whatever he is now. I admire Dan's collection process. He's just, like, going after it.
I do too, because it's my process and he listens to me.
Yeah.
Oh, you think so? I don't want to believe that's true, because he was doing weird stuff while you were still like being a garbage man.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Although now he and I were just talking about this yesterday, that now we both collect literal garbage.
Yeah. Now you were buying garbage games. Now you're just buying people's actual
garbage.
Yeah. But premium garbage. Garbage.
One of a kind. Garbage you won't see anywhere else.
Yeah. Speaking of garbage, I would like to talk to you guys about one of my golden items. One of the 5 here. And it is garbage. I've been known to call this a garbage system for garbage people. It is the N64.
Boo!
And did you know? Yeah. Boo!
Hello!
Unifying from Collector's Quest. But did you know that there was a gold N64? I'm sure you did. You've seen it.
Is there?
Yeah, there sure is. It was a Toys R Us exclusive, and it came with 2 golden controllers. So it is a distinct bundle it's called the limited edition gold, or limited gold deck edition. It says on the box. So specifically comes with 2 controllers. There are some other ways to get some gold N64 items. There is also a Toys R Us exclusive, which just comes with the standard, gray deck and 1 gold controller. Weird. And then you could buy in a blister pack a gold N64 controller. Again, a Toys R Us exclusive. I think, Tyler, did you tell me there was like a Japanese exclusive to Toys R Us as well? Oh, no, that was for the GameCube. And so GameCube also had like a weird gold Toys R Us exclusive.
But there is a Japanese golden N64. So
yes,
I guess if you care, make sure you're getting the right one.
Yeah, I mean, you will see that it is the Toys R Us. Like, it's in the lower right-hand corner. It's got the, multicolor, Toys R Us font on it. So like, red, yellow, and green with the big, yellow R and the blue star. That's on there. You can't miss it. It's, also it's got a giant gold N64 on it, and it's an American packaging.
I didn't know there were 2 variants, Johnny, until you told me an hour ago. So that's pretty interesting, because I always see that's the Toys R Us golden N64. So now, Collector's Quest recommendation, if you have the one that's just a golden controller, it's garbage.
Throw that trash.
Forget it.
Yeah, put it in the trash.
Absolutely.
And then upgrade to the correct one, and then maybe consider putting it in the trash because it's garbage.
Well, just because it's an N64, I mean, naturally.
Yeah. I mean, you should really just question whether you should own a gold N64 at all. So I think the rarest thing to find of these is the gold N64 controller in the blister pack. Because most of those got open. So I think of the most collectible parts of that is going to be that controller. I don't know if it's necessarily the most expensive, but definitely the hardest to find. There's one up on eBay right now. Probably won't be by the time you hear this. I think it's going for about $100. I think it'll probably close around $300 to $500 though. So
I don't think that's true. I think the watermelon one is impossible to find.
I'm not.
Some of the fantastic individual controllers are ridiculous.
I'm saying of the 3 gold.
Of this stuff.
Yeah. Not of the extreme editions or the die hawking Japanese. No, I'm not getting into any of that. I'm strictly talking about this. The gold N64 though is kind of hard to find in the box. You can find just the system if you're not looking for the box for around $250, $300. Depends if you want 1 or 2 controllers. I've seen it as as low as $150, but as high as $350 with 2 controllers and a game. And like I said, you'll find the Japanese one in the box more often than you will the Toys R Us edition one. So, something to look out for. I think there's only one on eBay right now. And I think it's $1,200 for the gold N64. No, I'm sorry. They've got a $2,000 or best offer on that right now. So, yeah, there's a buy it now on the controller for $500, still sealed. And there's a gold box, not in great shape, just a flat box only, no styrofoam or anything, $350. So this is kind of it's more expensive than I think it is, but N64 stuff always surprises me on how pricey it is. So I don't know if this seems outrageous compared to other N64 stuff, but it's still a little bit of a pricey collectible. But the paint is far more resilient than those Brazilian controllers, so you could do worse.
I used a golden controller most of my life, and it still looks pretty good. So
yeah, I mean that's The gold N60, or the N64 I use is the gold one with a gold controller.
Is it painted or is it just golden plastic?
It's like golden plastic dye. I'm sure it's dyed. Like, I'm sure it's in the plastic dye. You know how I got mine? I got mine from Denmark in a trade. I traded a Ghost and Goblins proto back in the day, and maybe this person can be found. I don't even remember who they are. I found them through Nintendo Age. I won this proto at one of these SoCal events, so I got it for like $20, and I really wanted this gold N64. So I got this, and I got like the 3 Zelda games for the Panasonic for the CDI games. Yeah, I got those. I got some like I think $200 in cash too or something, and shipped from Denmark for this one proto. It wasn't even playable. It like literally just it was a Master System proto, and you plugged it in, and the Ghost and Goblins logo came up, and that was it. That's all it did.
Okay, as the story went on, it got more and more in your favor. And once you said Master System, just excellent trade, Johnny. Good job.
So, I mean, this is so many years ago. I don't like, and I wasn't like hardcore collecting them. Like, I definitely did not. I still don't really care about protos and stuff. That's not like really my lens at all. I was like, if I'm gonna play N64, this is the one I want to do it on, and I love Zelda, so I need Zelda-looking stuff around me. And this was a thing I got for like $20 of investment. I'm like, I can get, finally someone wants to do this. Hooray. So, I was successful. Anyways, that's
Yay.
it. That's that item. Go get it. Like if you care about this, if you love Zelda, you want to spruce up your display, you want to spend $500, go out there and get one. And if you're super crazy, it has nothing
to do with Zelda. Does it have anything to do with Zelda?
I mean, it came out like because Ocarina of Time was like the biggest ever, right? On the N64.
But they couldn't put the word Zelda on the box. When Pokemon was big, they put a goddamn Pikachu molded into the N64, and they couldn't print Zelda on the box.
I think that's a mistake too, but I think Nintendo also learns from this, right? Because they didn't really do that with their special editions. Even the Star Wars one has no Star Wars branding on the fucking console. It's ridiculous. Weird. There's a Golden Eye one, right? It's nothing about. It's just they just put an image on it to help sell the thing. So, like, maybe Nintendo didn't want to like really lean into it at that point. But like, we'll talk about some items in the bonus stuff where Nintendo definitely leans into, branding on systems to sell systems.
And I bet they probably just didn't want you to think it came with Zelda, and they didn't want to include Zelda because it was probably the hottest selling thing ever. So. Oh,
absolutely, yeah. So. Anyways, that's all we got on that. So Tyler, what else you got for us?
Johnny, I've got 5 more objects to talk about. Not all of them are golden this time.
No, Tyler, it is 5 golden things. This is the 4th item. Don't have 5 items.
No, I'm supposed to have 5 different golden items, Johnny.
No, you aren't. You're supposed to have 2 total.
It is not a total of 15 things.
I don't understand.
Come on, man.
What is this episode again, Johnny?
5 gold.
We talked about the Toys R Us N64. That was 1, 2. The blister pack controller 3. The Japanese N64 4, and the Japanese controller 5. So that was 5 golden things for you.
No, Tyler, please, please. You're always like, man, our show goes on forever, and then I've got to spend a million years editing, but here's 5 more things so I can talk for 40 minutes.
There's only one thing I really want to talk about, but...
Okay, good, do that.
No, I'm not. We have to talk about Famicom contests. So, before the Nintendo World Championships, Nintendo held another contest in Japan. I don't think it had a name. Maybe it did, but basically, you would buy...
I'm sure it had a name, Tyler.
What?
They had to have. They were just like, "Hey, everybody, come over to this thing we're doing."
It was, "Hey, come over, everyone, this thing we're doing." It didn't have a big flashy name that encompassed the whole series of events and numerous thousands and thousands of giveaways that went with it over at least a year. I don't know how long it was. Anyway, you would. So it was around the time the Famicom Disk System launched, and they released 4 games that came on blue discs, and what you would do, you would get a high score in that game, which would save to the disc itself, because holy crap, Famicom Disk System is super cool, and then you would bring it to the store, and they would have a kiosk set up It was, what was it? It was called like a disc fax or something like that. It was like a fax machine that would read your Famicom Disk System disc and send it to Nintendo, the high score to Nintendo, and then Nintendo had a leaderboard of all the highest scores in all the games. If that happened today, everyone's score would just be a hacked number with an infinite number of nines. But apparently this worked in 1987. I don't know when this happened. I'm going to say 87. So there were 4 contests. The Famicom Golf Japan course, which you would win a golden disc of Famicom Japan course. Who cares about that? Famicom Golf US course, which you would win a golden disc of Famicom Golf US course. Who cares about that? Because if you got second place in that contest for the Famicom Golf US course, you would win a golden copy of Punch-Out for the Famicom. Cool!
Yes, whoa! They just run out of shit. How did that, like...
Punch-Out Special.
Is it actually called Punch-Out Special?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's called Punch-Out Special.
I have a question. I'm raising my hand again. Does the Punch-Out, and this is I'm not leading you in. I actually don't know. Is the ROM on that Punch-Out cart? Does that actually have differences to the retail,
Absolutely.
the regular retail copy?
So
Punch-Out, tell me about that.
It is the same game. So the history of Punch-Out is really weird. So obviously Punch-Out is an arcade game, and then this is the first home console version of Punch-Out, and it ends at Super Macho Man. There's no final boss after that. So then Mike Tyson's Punch-Out came out, and obviously had Mike Tyson, and then it turned into Punch-Out, which added Mr. Dream. So this is it's missing the main draw to the game, I would say, but it's still a super cool, obviously, Punch-Out thing.
How does it actually end then? Do you know, I don't know. I knew you were going to ask me that,
and I obviously have never beaten it, and
thought maybe you watched a YouTube video.
I didn't bother. So Stefan, Collector's Quest homework, go figure out how the Famicom Punch-Out Special ends.
Well, yeah, and it is different. It has its own board, different box and everything. It comes in a gold box rather than the standard little gray box on it. Even has even the art is shifted down on it, so it's different. The disc for golf also comes in a little gold box.
So they come in the 4 prizes. So the 4 first place prizes come in Famicom Kun boxes, which are the little Famicom logo guy. And then those came in white boxes that look like wrapped presents. Those are all super cool. I think probably Americans maybe would be most interested in the Punch-Out. I believe there's 10,000 of them. So they're not super rare contest cards. They handed out a lot of these. Actually, the most desirable things from this whole contest thing are the third contest was F1 Race, where you got a Super Mario Brothers Game & Watch. And because that appeals to such a wide variety of collectors, like Famicom people, Mario people, Game & Watch people, that one can go for over $1,000. And then the fourth contest was a 3D Hot Rally, and you won a stationary set. And that's just super rare because it's a stationary set. Weirdly, all these are 100% available at all times. So if you search for the Super Mario Brothers Game & Watch, you'll probably find 5 of them for sale, but they'll all be just $1,000, buy it now. We're not lowering the price. So
yeah, and if you want that gold Punch-Out, you can find it with its box and the little sticker it came with on eBay right now for $700.
Sure, and I mean, the
just
price
a card for $400.
Maybe all over the place. I would say probably $500 to $700 for a complete box, and you can get a card for probably $200. So it's cool. I don't know. Punch-Out.
Maybe it's more. Yeah. And it's got a picture. Weirdly, the picture they show is bald bull. I don't want to look at him. He's you're just this is Punch-Out to you guys. This guy, all right.
I don't know, maybe was he the most I don't know what the arcade scene in Japan around Punch-Out was like. Was he the most popular Punch-Out character, or maybe he was the character they put on the marquee of the Japanese arcade game?
See, I would wager, especially since they made him a cartoon character, that King Hippo would have been I don't know. I feel he's the most
But that's
about
when it came to
unappealing.
America. That's when it came to America, and that's like maybe the American audiences were that, because the cartoon was like strictly an American thing, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, you can get a gold, like speaking of gold things, here's a bonus item. You can get a golden crown from King Hippo from the Wii, for the Wii game. There was like a little box set you could buy that has like King Hippo's trunks and the golden crown in there. So you can find that. So
bonus gold box. Thing. Woo!
That's a good bonus gold thing. Yep. One more tidbit. I'm pretty sure that this version of Punch-Out is not racist.
Oh, it doesn't have
the de-racist version of Punch-Out. So the original arcade versions of Punch-Out had racist names. So these are still racial stereotypes, but with less racist names. So the American names, essentially. So Soda Popinski instead of Vodka Drunkinski would be the most politically correct one we can mention on the show, I'll say.
All right. Yeah, let's leave it at that.
Moving on.
Whoa, that's rough. that's like everyone just kind of glosses over that. You're just like, whatever. Yeah. By the way, if you guys want one of these golfs, there's like one of the golfs in the Famicom-kun for like $400. Between $400 and $500, you can get a
I just bought a Japan. I was looking for one for under $300. I just bought a Japan course for $300. Well, it was 300 or 30,000 yen, so like probably $280. And I was the only bidder, and I wasn't really happy with the price. I wanted a deal on it. So hold out.
Okay, that's good advice. I'm never looking to buy this thing, so like I would buy the Punch-Out, but I would not buy the golf.
I feel like historically, when we tell people to hold off on buying things, it ends up biting us in the ass, because then it ends up being like...
Well, Stephen...
Remember when Tyler told you not to buy something and then it blew up to $40,000?
We don't consider the universal truth that everything goes up forever, always. And everything I buy is the right thing to buy.
Yeah. No,
true. And I did see there is a Punch-Out card if you want one for $225. Just like... search deep into eBay.
Yeah, there's a lot of Punch-Out cards.
Anyways, yeah,
it's not rare. Prize for losers.
But like
Robin
when
Mahara,
I started collecting, I don't know about you, but when I started collecting, like people would bring out the gold Punch-Out and they'd be like, "Check out this," and people would ooh and all like it was the rarest thing ever made, and you're like, not really. There's a lot of them. They're pretty available.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. What was the import scene, I guess, like 15 years ago? Was it harder to get stuff from Japan? Because I agree with you. Like the gold Punch-Out is totally something you would see on like Game Sniped. If anyone remembers Game Sniped, it was a blog that would, I think every single day, find the coolest video games on eBay and then make a blog post about like, here's what's for sale. Here's all the cool rare stuff. And I could totally see
their
Tyson's
post
Punch-Out
would still make it incredibly difficult to find the item. You ever remember that? Like they never had a clear, like, oh, here's the auction. It was all like, here's this thing we found. Here's a picture of it. Good luck finding the link.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't remember that. I thought there were links, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just we had less Japanese stuff, and now just so much more stuff has filtered from Japan to America that we're just like, oh yeah, there's 20 of those Punch-Outs on eBay right now. Or maybe more Japanese sellers sell directly on eBay to the US market. That's a crazy thing I've seen. You could search for something on Yahoo Auctions, and you'll find more results for a Famicom game on eBay than Yahoo, because there's more sellers. They're just like, Americans want Doki Doki Panic, or Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is a great example. I'm almost positive there are more Famicom copies of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out on eBay than there are on Yahoo, because they know that Americans are the ones looking for that stuff.
And whatever our shipping deals are, like whatever our trade like clauses are with Japan, obviously they are fairly favorable, right? Like on import and like VAT and everything, because shipping is not that expensive here. Like you can buy something from Japan, and it's not like when you buy something from Europe and you're just like, oh my God, the price coming from Europe is stupid.
I know.
From Japan, it comes like pretty quick and it comes pretty fast. Like I can get something from Japan in a couple of days, where when I buy something from Europe, I'm like, especially during COVID times, I'm like, please come in a month and a half or two.
Those are, you'll buy something and then like it'll show up like months later and you will have forgotten about it, and it'll be like, oh yeah, I bought that thing.
I mean, that is kind of nice though.
It's part of the reason I stopped on the European Super Nintendo stuff right now, just because like it was so mind numbing. Like the tracking was getting so old.
Oh, man.
It took 3 months to get anything. I'm like, okay, I have to wait until this stops, or I have to do a shipping service that does DHL. So if you are getting stuff from like other parts of the country or other parts of the world, different countries, get a DHL service because DHL delivers pretty quickly. And if you just go through like their standard post to our post, it is like nightmare central. It's gotten better, but like, especially during the initial panic when people like didn't know all the protocols and how, like if things were toxic and infected, like, and they were importing them over, like things just took forever, literally 3.5 months for me to get stuff. And I was like, I'll just wait. I'll wait until things clear up a little bit and we'll see what happens then.
So you're saying that European stuff is the real rare stuff and we should all be investing in,
yes.
Weird PAL A games that no one.
No, I'm saying if you want the real rare stuff, you should probably be buying like weird Asian market stuff that, you know, we haven't considered. Maybe go look for Korean N64 games or something. Man. Like go find like really hard stuff or like weird things from South America. Like go explore those markets and see how much harder it is to find something. Like there's
right, Nick Morgan. We're telling people to encroach on your turf.
I was just thinking about Nick when you were talking about this. I'm like, yeah, it's buy all the stuff that only Nick Morgan cares about.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I'm not actually. I don't think people should go down that route unless you're going to be a crazy person. Don't go do that because I don't know how fulfilling that will be for you. From what I've experienced with collectors, they thrive on getting things.
Yes. If you do that, have a goal. Don't have your goal be, I want to get all the Asian and Brazilian N64 games I can, because you probably won't get all of them and you'll just be buying stuff forever.
Yeah. Also, importing stuff from Brazil is notoriously hard. So they like have pretty strict rules about what leaves Brazil and like what can be shipped and like who can buy stuff from like Brazilian marketplaces and stuff. It's hard. So you kind of got to know somebody. Anyways, I have a golden thing to talk about, and then we'll
5 golden things.
I have one. Maybe it's multiple things, but it's counting as one. And then Stefan's got a bonus item. Sure. I placed our order wrong. Stefan should be talking now the way I had the order. Sorry, Stefan.
It's okay. Go.
So, you're not interested in my story? Okay.
No, I said
Stefan
it's your show. Go.
Sounds so bored.
Go
then.
Do
Fine.
It.
All
Do
right.
the thing. It's your show.
There is a super cool Game Boy SP from Europe that you can get that, it's a little gold clamshell. It's got a nicely lit screen. It's got 3 golden Triforce on it. It comes with Minish Cap, which is a surprisingly great Zelda game if you have not yet endeavored to play it. And you know me, I don't really do portable stuff that often. It's great. It's compact gold. It's a beautiful little Zelda package. Comes in a nice, firm cube, It's really nice looking. It's kind of hard to find. There was 25,000 of them made. It's not super hard, but it's, again, coming from Europe, it just gets a little hard, especially to get it nice, because shipping that distance, there's problems. But that is not the best part about that. In these boxes, there could be a special golden ticket. This golden ticket will allow you, if found in there, will allow you to trade that ticket in to Nintendo of Europe, and you will get an exclusive gold-plated GBA.
Wow.
So, how many of these exist?
There must be a bunch of them, right, Johnny?
No. In fact, we didn't get the first image of one until 2018. That's how long it took for these.
A Game Boy Advance.
Yes. So, there's a whole story to it. So what happened, these came out, right? One turned up in 2013, right? And we kind of had pictures, but wasn't really confirmed. It was said to be bought for $100, and it was in South America that this was bought, but confirmed to be bought from Europe, right? So this like kind of first one that no one really confirmed. We didn't believe. Not until 2018 did other photos come out of this one that was bought out of an auction out of Europe for $700. And this person took it and had it confirmed. They like took it to a jeweler or something, or a gold shop, and it was confirmed that it is actually gold plated. You know, not just painted gold, but actual gold plating on there. So that's like when the first like pictures of it really came out. But both of these people that have shown pictures of it were not the winners of this contest. They did not turn in these golden tickets. They got them secondhand themselves. There has never been a confirmed winner come forward. No one who there's no one that has said like, oh yeah, I got one of those golden tickets. It's me. Let me show you my ticket. This is what I had. There's pictures of the ticket that you can find. And it just says, if you find the winning card inside your pack, you'll win an exclusive Game Boy Advance, right? And it's just a little gold ticket. It's got a little picture of an SP in there. You can see the advertisements and stuff for it. You can see what they said the picture of it, but no one's actually photographed the ticket itself. So we don't know if that's like, you see the placeholder image for it, but is that really what it looks like? We don't know. Probably. It says like, congratulations across the top.
So if you've got really good Photoshop skills and a really good printer, please fabricate one of these tickets, and maybe it'll be a super rare collectible.
Woo, yeah. The image quality is not like great on it, so I couldn't tell you what all the words on the winning ticket are. Like I said, or if that's even what the final product looked like, because this is just a promotional image. So yeah, it's a pretty weird and obscure gold item that you go like if you're a Zelda person, this is a Zelda specific promotion. So this would be like one of your holy grail Zelda items to get one of these gold plated N64s. But again, we only have 2 confirmed people. GBAs, yeah, sorry, GBA SPs specifically. 2 confirmed in all this time. First good pictures in 2018, mentions of it in 2013. What the hell, guys? It's the internet age. Find me these. Someone go get them. Like, what are you waiting for? Get out there and be an internet detective.
They're in Europe, right?
Yep, this was a European thing.
It's because Europeans don't care about Nintendo, and they don't like sending their games or their information over to America, Johnny. That's just what we were talking about.
Is that what we were talking? I don't know
if this was a gold-plated Commodore Amiga, they'd have people having them in museums on pedestals. They'd be like, I got the gold ticket for Commodore. Look at my gold-plated BBC Micro. But GBA SP, they just don't care, Johnny.
Are you sure?
I'm joking, but I hear that. I don't know. Is Pokemon a worldwide thing? I'm not really sure. Do people like Pokemon?
Mm-hmm. They do. They love it.
They do.
Anyways, let me just run down some last facts for you. You can pick one of these up. There's lots of fake shells for this, so be careful. It's often faked. Or if you just want a replacement shell, go find one. Don't confuse it with the fake Majora's Mask emblem. You know, it's all over the place on the fake market. So careful. I've seen most of them go for around $200 if it's just the GBA itself. In the box, questionable. I see listings for up to $1,100. You know, it's a Zelda item. It's like, it's not that rare because there was 25,000 of them made, but finding a boxed one in America is just like a little bit more questionable. But yeah, I see one now for $500. There's a good price on one if you don't mind a little bit of beat up on your box for $300, because that's just barely what over the just Game Boy itself goes for. But again, comes with the Minish Cap cart. Know that the plug to charge that thing is the European charging system, so you'll need that adapter. But go find this thing. I see a nice one for like $750. There is some variations to the boxes too, so careful on that, depending on region. Check it out. Go look at pictures. They look awesome. Probably when I post this episode, I'll post a picture of mine.
Zelda Minish Cap, the origin story of Link's hat.
Yeah.
That's an important thing now. Origin stories. First appearance. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's a key.
First
it's
appearance
a key title.
of Link's hat.
Yeah, key title. Also, isn't it first appearance of the Master Sword?
In canon, you mean? Ooh. Do canonical first appearances matter?
I'm not going to get into that. I'm not even going to entertain this joke. Moving on. That was 5 golden things, but we do have a couple of bonus items. Stefan has a bonus one, and then we'll just throw out, without explanation, some other cool gold items you could go buy if you, in fact, love gold. That's a super relevant impression from 2005 or 3.
With a gold member reference?
Yeah, it was. It sure was.
Look, I'm here for it.
Thank you.
There are probably people listening to this show that didn't even remotely get that. There's probably someone listening to this show who wasn't born when Goldmember came out.
Absolutely. I don't even know when Goldmember came out. You should not watch it unless you want to see, unless you like just totally dig Beyonce. Like, how much draw did Beyonce bring to that movie? You got to imagine a lot, right?
I was only there for Austin Powers, man.
I mean, at the time, but Beyonce is so much more than that. She played a character named Foxy Cleopatra. This is off memory, so forgive me if I'm incorrect. Anyways, bonus item, Stefan, go!
Hi! So I want to talk real quick about some of the gold stuff that was associated with the 100th issue of Nintendo Power.
Oh, you're talking about Nintendo Power?
Yes.
Stuff, really?
Yeah,
you think that's okay?
I do.
Are you qualified to talk about Nintendo Power stuff? I don't even know.
You know what? There are many people who would tell you no. But anyway, so I want to talk a little bit some of the items associated with the 100th issue of Nintendo Power. I want to talk to them about bonus items because I'm on the fence as to whether or not they're collectible. Okay, they're collectible, fine. But the problems with these two items is that they're both regular retail items with a sticker on them that is very easily faked, has been faked, and they were all hand applied. So you can't be like, oh, well, this one is crooked, so that must be fake. No, a lot of them, of the legit ones, were crooked. And that is the gold N64 controller and the gold Game Boy Pocket. The gold Game Boy Pocket 100th issue edition is a regular retail Japanese gold pocket that you can get for $35 on eBay right now, with a embossed sticker just stuck on the bezel on the right side. That exact same sticker for the N64 controller, again, a regular retail gold N64 controller with a embossed 100th issue sticker on it above the Nintendo Power logo in the middle of the controller, or the top middle of the controller. Again, most of them are crooked. Most of those are too close to the Nintendo Power logo, so it tramples it a little bit even. They're not good. They're not aesthetically pleasing. They are very, very expensive, and so and simultaneously very easy to fake. So there are lots of fake ones out there. So I don't even really have, because I've seen fake ones that I was like, okay, that would pass muster for me. So I don't even want to say that there's a foolproof way to say, okay, yes, this is a legitimate one. If there is, at me. I'm actually kind of curious. And I would love to talk about it more. I'll make sure the listeners know how to suss out a fake if there's really information about it. But just be real careful if you're going to buy either the N64 controller or the Game Boy Pocket with the Nintendo Power 100th issue sticker on it, because they are very easily faked. And the difference is I don't know when the last one is sold, but there's currently a listing for one for $1,200 on eBay, the Game Boy Pocket. Meanwhile, the retail version of the exact same item without that sticker can be had easily for under $50. So be careful.
Well, I mean, there's one more item too. They're probably the rarest of them.
Oh, the gold. Was it not Majora's Mask? The other one that Tyler likes. That Zelda. Ocarina. Thank you.
Tyler likes.
That Tyler likes.
Literally,
it's Tyler's Zelda.
Likes.
It's the Tyler Zelda. The Ocarina of Time Game Boy camera, which is it looks identical to all the other cameras except for that it's gold. But there are actual like specific Zelda related stickers or stamps in the software, so the ROM on that particular or associated with that particular camera is different than the regular one, and that was had via the you could buy it out of Nintendo Power, the player's catalog. So
pretty hard to find though. Like I think the last one sold for like $550. They don't come up very often.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
yeah, generally
you
the last
got
few
me
years I've
interested
tracked
and then
them.
immediately evaporated all of my interest in this object.
Yeah, the last couple of years I've been tracking them. They go between $300 and $500.
Just loose?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if this one has a box. Does this one? Did it actually have a box?
It does, but it's it's got I think it's got like the color sticker on it. It's like the regular box with a sticker on it, I think.
Okay, yeah.
I think.
I mean, you'll know.
I mean, I know it's a regular retail box. I just don't know if it has a sticker on it, but
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it does.
Yeah, I have not seen the box. Like I've never seen one sell in the box, but I also haven't been looking that hard. As far as Stefan, you telling about how to tell for placement, I know there was a thing on Nintendo Age back in the day because about the Millennium controllers. I think there was some measurements because those suffer like the same kind of issues, right? Of common fakes and stuff. And someone had it written up for a while. And I think there was some way to like measure where the sticker was supposed to be. Like even if it was crooked, it's supposed to be like this far away from the thumbstick, I think kind of a thing. So.
One thing, this is a broader conversation. I don't like giving out kind of every piece of information that can authenticate an object because that can help people make better fakes. So I think the ideal way to handle it is to look at current fakes and explain why they're fake without saying everything about the original object that can possibly authenticate it. So you're not helping the bootleg.
Because tribal knowledge and gatekeeping is the way to go.
Yeah,
no,
I was going to say,
I don't know if bootleg stuff.
Yeah, but this is like a sentiment you find like, don't say something like that because then you'll tell people how to fake it and then I might get ripped off. I mean, there are ways to test, right? Like there's ways to defend yourself against fakes. There's always going to be fakes in the market. I don't know in like limiting people's ability to learn things is the best way to do that. I just don't know if I agree with you there, Tyler.
All right.
Because
I don't have any particular bootleg knowledge off the top of my head that I keep keep away from people, but I do know across multiple areas of collecting, I see people say that they hold the key bootlegging knowledge close to their chest, so people don't know everything. I think know where this is coming from. This might be coming from a book on baseball card collecting, where a guy who detects altered baseball cards says that he has like the super secret ways that he has to figure out if a card has been faked or something.
Yeah, I'm also not going to tell a guy how to, diminish his earning potential. I'm not saying that guy should go out and do it, but if someone else knows and they publish it, I'm not going to be mad at them for that.
I mean, I'm not going to be mad because I want the info myself.
Yeah.
I don't know how big
right.
of a deal fakes are right now, but
let's just throw out a couple of random golden things that you know of in collecting that are either bad or good. You can tell me thumbs up, thumbs down. You got one, Tyler?
The Neo Geo X Gold limited edition, Johnny.
Is that actually gold?
It says gold. The logo is gold.
So thumbs up or thumbs down?
Oh, big thumbs up to a Neo Geo handheld that improperly emulates Neo Geo games for hundreds of dollars, $200.
Cool. Hey, Stefan, you got any?
Yeah, gold amiibos.
Oh yeah, there's a Mario one and a Mega Man one, which came with Mega Man Legends for the 3DS. Cool. Those are like both around $100, so enjoy that, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
So you giving that a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Thumbs down.
All right, Tyler, I'm gonna throw some out and you guys tell me thumbs up or thumbs down. Pokemon Gold for the Game Boy Color. Tyler.
Thumbs medium.
Thumbs medium. Okay, Stefan. Pokemon Heart Gold for the DS. Up or down?
Oh, thumbs up.
Thumbs up. One of the best games ever made.
Yeah.
So the problem is that Heart Gold replaced Pokemon Gold for me. I have no love for Pokemon Gold anymore because Heart Gold's the one remake where it's like Pokemon Gold. This is the new thing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Some strong feelings.
Yep.
All right. There was a Pokemon Center in New York special Game Boy with Pichu on it. That was gold. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Tyler.
Thumbs up. Pichu's pretty cute. Wait. Thumbs medium. I don't like having limited edition handhelds because I don't like on the bezel that can distract me from the game.
Yeah.
So,
not only that, but yeah, I mean, talking about things that are easily faked, people do make reproductions of that bezel, and they're like regularly available on eBay for no money. And printers are now such that you can make a convincing fake. So thumbs down on creating items that are easily faked.
Yeah. So my thumbs up recommendation is get it in the box.
Yep.
Because the box is hard to find. All right. Zelda 3DS with Triforce on it. Up or down?
Thumbs down. I don't care about limited edition handhelds at all.
Stefan.
Yeah. I just feel like everything, there's just so much like, I wish we could get like some like creative variants based on Zelda that it's just like, here's a f***ing gold Zelda thing. Like, I don't know. I want more, Johnny.
You want more. Okay. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Zelda, the first gold thing. Tyler.
Thumbs up. Everyone hoard as many gold copies of Zelda as you can. Build a Zelda wall.
Okay. Stefan, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up because many a times in like a lot of something, like I've gotten deals on things because like the seller was so obsessed over this limited edition gold cart that they like didn't realize the value in other things that they had. So like thumbs up because I'd overpay for Zelda to then get a deal on something else.
No, how about thumbs up because Zelda is amazing. One of the best games ever made, if not the best game ever made for the Nintendo, and just such an important title. How about that? It's a key title.
Thumbs up to them for recognizing that and making Zelda the cool thing. Because like they could have made Star Tropics like the only gold Nintendo game, and it would have been like, all right, it's cool. Yeah. I guess Star Tropics is gold, but like it's Zelda, so it's really cool.
It really was lightning in a bottle. And there's nothing in like the Triforce just being gold. Like they could have made it any other color. They could have made it silver, but they were like, nah, gold, make it shiny. It was excellent.
I wonder if there's like, I haven't even looked, but I wonder if there's like an interesting story about like, I don't know, like some intern like deciding that it should be gold, or like I wonder how they came to that decision.
Arrived at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I would be curious to see that. Okay, Mr. Gold for the Famicom. Tyler, thumbs up, thumbs down.
I literally don't even know what that is.
It's a Famicom game called Mr. Gold.
Nope.
No knowledge.
Exist.
Stefan,
is that playable in English?
I don't know.
Now that we've mentioned it, though, I'm sure the value has gone way up.
Yep.
I have this game.
Yeah.
This is it's a adventure game or like a visual novel. Like I can't play it, so I have no idea what.
Thumbs down. Thumbs down to a visual novel.
Yeah, no visual novels anywhere. Adventure games. Why would I own a Japanese game that I can't play? I own many. I literally own Mr. Gold. I don't know why I'm using this argument.
All right, so tell me now, Tyler, gold, not for resale, Majora's Mask. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
So I don't know. There's a gold not for resale versus the gray one? I thought the gray one is cool. What's the gold one? Like a regular kiosk cart?
I don't know.
Okay.
Just we're not here to explain. Just thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up. I like Majora's Mask a lot.
Okay, Stefan, same question.
Thumbs down on sticker-only variants of shit.
I'm assuming this is printed onto the label in a little red box. Is it a sticker variant?
We're not going that deep, guys. That's not what we're doing.
I'm changing my answer. Right. Thumbs down.
Okay. Ocarina of Time special edition gold box with that gold cover on it. The limited edition one. You know what I'm saying. Tyler, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Can I explain my answer? Do I say okay? Thumbs medium. I think the box is super cool.
Thumbs down. Tyler likes it.
Oh, come on. If you're going to have one, like, that's the one to have, I guess. But do you think there are less of the gray ones, actually? Should that be considered the rare variant?
No, I just think that the cartridge itself is not, like, super appealing in gold. Like, it's okay, but I think the gray one looks pretty nice, too. Whereas, like, the NES cartridge, like, you see the gray Zelda, and you're just like, oh, get that away from me. I like the collector's edition Ocarina of Time for the box, not the cartridge, I'll say.
Okay. And I'm going to give you guys just my final thought. It's a big thumbs down, guys. And it is something that has bothered me for a very long time. And it's not that it's gold. It's the fact that it's not gold. Zelda, Link to the Past, why the hell aren't you a gold cartridge?
That would be pretty sweet.
What the hell?
Well, it was probably because they already knew that everyone on planet Earth was going to buy it, so they didn't need to spend the extra 25 cents per cartridge.
I mean, they did it with Zelda 2. They did it with the N64 title. And now it's just like this weird gray bastard in there.
Okay, no, now you sold me. Now it is weird because like Killer Instinct and Maximum Carnage have special cartridges.
Yeah.
So it is very weird now. I don't like it.
All right, Stefan, you got thoughts. Let's hear them.
Nah, I don't have any new thoughts. I think you're right. I think it's dumb. I would love to have a gold SNES cart.
This is the thing that I want Nintendo to do, a re-release. Like, I want them just to re-release a couple of black box games, like a Zelda.
Limited run.
And then, fine, limited run, you do it. I'll pay you the money. Just finally get me an official gold cart on there. Like, also thumbs down to European boxes that were like green. Like, also this Zelda box should have been gold. Like, come on. Like, everything about the stupid, aside from the game being incredible, everything else is a freaking fail. Just big thumbs down. Should have been a gold box. They obviously did special colored boxes. Just make it, it's such a special game. Just make it special. More special. Come on.
We know Johnny loves modern re-releases of old games, and he's clamoring for more, guys.
That's how you know how deeply this affects me when that's what I want. Also, like the European green box, thumbs down. Big box one though, pretty cool. Very rare.
When Johnny tells limited run to make something, you
know how desperate I am.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, it's just like, come on, man. It's like, gets me that it's not gold. Like, fine, you put it in a black box, at least give it a gold cartridge. But why? Just give me a gold box and a gold cartridge, Nintendo. What is your problem?
Link to the Past is overrated.
No, it's not.
I'm just trying to set you off.
No, I'm like, no. You know what's overrated? Ocarina. If we're talking about overrated Zelda games, Ocarina of Time is the most overrated Zelda game.
Hard agree.
It's impossible to argue because it's like the highest rated game ever. So literally, like almost, I mean, okay, in a technical sense, there could be more overrated games, but yeah, Ocarina of Time, probably the most overrated Zelda game.
Yeah.
I'm going to scratch that and say Wind Waker. No, I'm going to scratch that again and say Skyward Sword because people still give it too much credit only because it's a Zelda game.
I don't think it's overrated, though, because people like you and me are like, please don't play that.
Enough people don't.
I think it's perfectly rated.
Oh, I'm going to do one more. I'm going to throw one more in there that I wanted to. Okay. Skyward Sword bundle with the gold Wii U controller. Thumbs up, thumbs down, Tyler.
Thumbs up. They took a turd and made it gold.
It's Stefan.
Thumbs up. I actually like that Wiimote.
I do too.
Like if I was gonna own a Wiimote, it would be that one.
It's nice.
I give a thumbs medium to Ocarina of Time. Thumbs up to Skyward Sword.
Yeah, this is the world you live in. All right, gold nunchuck. That was a Nintendo Club only item to go with that gold Wiimote. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Let's go Stefan first.
Thumbs up only if it also has the gold Wiimote, because you knew who wants to be the jerk with like the white Wiimote and then the
I mean, if you got the bundle, you might as well like endeavor to get that gold nunchuck. Make it right, because also the white one with the gold Wiimote also looks stupid. I don't know why you couldn't just get both. It's a mistake. Tyler?
Yeah, thumbs up. But only if it's paired correctly. There's no good combination except for that correct pair.
Yep. So I give it a thumbs down for being an exclusive like that, because that forced people into bad combinations, which I don't like. That's the actual item itself to get the correct combo, thumbs up. But the fact that they did it that way, big thumbs down.
Okay, hold on. So I haven't looked at one of these in a while. Johnny, the cable is white. Thumbs down.
What?
The cable is white.
I mean, they just had white cables. So, I mean, it was either like you couldn't do a gold cable. They weren't going to do that.
No, but you do black. Yeah. Black and gold goes very well together.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, black would have been a better choice, but still, that's still better. A white cord with the correct nunchuck is still better than a white cord to a white nunchuck.
Sure.
Okay. All right, that's it for our Gold Things episode.
Wait, before we go on.
Okay.
I'd like to rescind something. I want to rescind my affirmative down to a I don't know in regards to the box for the camera. Because I have spent the last 30 minutes looking for a picture of the box, have not found one.
I was going to say, I've never seen a box. If you got a box, show me.
Now, all of the Game Boy camera boxes look identical, except for in the upper right-hand corner, they have a little indicator for the color. That's what I kind of assumed, that they would just have one that said gold there. I have yet to find a picture of one. So if you were listening to this...
I would think maybe it doesn't only... same issue with some of the other stuff, because it never went to retail, so they didn't create specific retail packaging. As you know, retail packaging
been a poly bag or something.
Has to go through specific processes, so maybe they didn't.
I did not buy mine out of Nintendo Power, so I would actually love to hear from someone who did. If you bought this at the time and actually had it shipped to you from Nintendo, I would love to hear from you as to how that was shipped. I do.
Oh man, I'm jealous. I've wanted one of these for a long time, but then can never make myself spend money on a gold camera.
Yeah, I started buying. So
you're a Nintendo Power guy.
Exactly. Yeah, I went on a kick where I was like, how many of the catalog items can I find? And I kind of went on a kick for a while where I was buying catalog items. So
all right, so that's going to be it for this. Just so you guys know, Gold Member came out in 2002. I was wrong even in my 2005. And now let's kick it to the next part of the show where I think we can be brief. Gentlemen, what have you bought recently? Stefan, go ahead and embarrass yourself and us.
Nope. I mean, I do have something kind of cool that it was actually a very, very recent purchase. So,
well, is it a gold Nintendo Super Nintendo controller?
It is. Well, there's that. But it starts as a sad story. Gus Rodriguez, who was a television personality in Mexico, and was also very involved with Nintendo, and actually essentially started up and carried Club Nintendo, which was the Latin America sister magazine, and other territories too called it Club Nintendo, but specifically the Latin American magazine that was the sister to Nintendo Power, he spearheaded that. So recently, earlier this year, he died of mesothelioma, and so his son on Facebook, on his via his site called Zero Control, recently did an auction of a bunch of Gus's personal memorabilia. So among that was in the players' polls, some of the most difficult things to find involving the Nintendo Power players' polls was the third place stuff. Because a lot of times it was first place would have been oh, here's a load of games or whatever. I mean, sometimes it was a movie prop, like the Bill and Ted, the Bill and Ted phone booth, or a Batmobile or something crazy like that. But oftentimes it was a trip or meeting a celebrity, and so but the second and third place was often an item from Nintendo. And for a long time, the third place item would be 50 people would get shirts, or the first one I think was a jersey. But one of the earlier pieces that you would get for third place was a shirt that had Nestor on the front of it, and it was a Nintendo Power shirt. For as many as they gave out, because they gave out 50 every issue for months on end, I've seen 2 of them, and one of them was in this auction of Gus Rodriguez's memorabilia. So not only was I completely, absolutely stoked that I finally found this shirt that I've been looking for a long time, but also that it is, something out of Gus Rodriguez's collection, and I also, all of the proceeds from that auction benefited mesothelioma research. So that was also so I got something that I was looking for a long time. It was from a very storied collection from an absolute pioneer in Latin America for Nintendo, and it benefited a good cause. So I couldn't have been happier to be able to acquire that shirt recently.
Man, he should have sent his stuff to Wada. He could have got a pedigree.
Yeah.
I'm making pedigree jokes in the face of this guy's sad death and his son's nice gesture of putting it to charity.
Good job, Johnny.
Christmas miracle.
Yep, there you go. But yeah, so that was my big. Speaking of Christmas, most of my other purchases have been gifts for people. So that was the big thing that I bought for myself recently.
No, that's an awesome thing. And much like Tyler, who thought you spent $5,000 on a controller earlier today, I saw you listing at this when you were in the heat of bidding, and I'm like, $8,000? Did you just bid $8,000 on a shirt? What the hell is going on? And it was,
you slid into my DMs real quick on that.
I'm like, is this? I started to contextualize what was going on by the nature of the chat, and I'm like, okay, there's a lot of Spanish and stuff going on. Okay, wait, maybe this is pesos and not dollars. And I'm like, yes, hey, Stefan, is this pesos or dollars? They're like, pesos. I'm like, okay, I feel a lot better right now about this shirt purchase.
The gavel on that was 8,000 pesos, which is 3 something or 4 something. Yeah.
So,
and I'm sorry, was that just the shirt, Stefan? I did not.
I actually did get 2 shirts out of that auction. It was that shirt, and then actually a different later Players Poll giveaway shirt that has Mario peeking out of the pocket.
Oh yeah, that shirt's
and
awesome.
He's throwing the peace sign. He's peeking out of the pocket. It's like an embroidered shirt, and then it says Nintendo Power on the sleeve. That was again a 50 every issue shirt, but it was later than the Nestor one. The Nestor one being the second third place giveaway. The first one that they did was a jersey. But that Nestor shirt's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's a sweet pickup. Congrats on finally finding that.
Yeah, thank you.
For other content on Runners Up, check out Robin Mahara, Nintendo World Championship runner up.
No, why are you doing this?
I'm so sorry.
God,
what is wrong?
Go buy his
Robin.
movie,
Why?
The Ecstasy of Order.
He's a nice
He listens
guy.
to the show. He's awesome.
I know.
His movie's $3 to rent it. It's
Robin,
super cheap.
we like you. Tyler hates you. I don't know why.
Robin, I apologize for my co-host Tyler. I don't know why he's like this. God, what is wrong with you? I thought I said the least sensitive thing, but no, it's Tyler twice.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of Stefan's 9/11.
Your 9/11 thing.
You brought it back up.
You are the worst. All right. Kind of funny. I'm not going to say I didn't laugh. All right. Tyler, the villain of this episode, tell us what you
Rolling
bought.
his mustache.
Well, Johnny, have you noticed I haven't been talking about video games as much on Facebook?
I've noticed you haven't posted anything on Instagram in about a month.
So Johnny, if you go to ebay.com and you click recent or purchase
ebay.com, what's that?
I don't know what eBay is.
It's a place where
eBay's where you buy American games, but
collectibles.
everyone knows the first Prince came out in Japan, so who would use eBay? I bought 2 games in December. I bought a copy of Batman Arkham Asylum for $7.99 with free shipping, and I bought a copy of Spider-Man Maximum Carnage, the red cartridge, because I bought an empty box for QVC Maximum Carnage, and I'm like, oh, I've already got one of those, obviously. It's a Genesis game. I've got all the Genesis games, and I opened up my Genesis game, and I've got the black cartridge in there, so now I got a red cartridge to go in my QVC box.
Nice.
And that's it, Johnny.
Oh, okay. Yikes. Okay.
I bought a copy of Metal Gear on MSX on Yahoo Japan as well. Did I say that already on the previous show? I don't think I did.
You said it in the last episode. Or
Are you serious, dude? I haven't been buying anything.
Yeah. Look, in the last episode, I couldn't even name a game. I've come back around though since Black Friday, and I bought a couple of games. So I finally did it. I think I needed the podcast to talk about games to get me interested in, like, to talk to people who could excite me about this thing I love again, rather than being drowned by all the negative stuff that I've been reading.
It's 100% true. I only buy games when I talk to you two.
Well, I mean, it gets you excited. Like, I mean, like, you can't just go on Facebook and look at any of that stuff. Those kind of conversations don't excite me for gaming. I talked to Josh Byerly about some like one-off weird variants and stuff, and I was instantly like, oh yes, this is why I love gaming. I want to go look at this stuff and go buy games again. I wasn't hearing about Left Bros Mario, what print it is, and look at the date code. I wasn't hearing any of that crap. I was hearing like, look at this dumb thing that's $5 in a variant if you can find it. Who cares?
Because that's what's actually fun to collect, Johnny.
Yes,
it's like 100 times more to collect something with more fun to collect something with knowledge than just dumping money into whatever the most popular, exciting thing is.
Yeah. So I say that, and let me tell you about what I bought now. We'll backtrack. I bought Driver 3 on the GBA. So that's a thing I bought. Just because Driver 3 is
that a super cool game?
It's just kind of hard to find on the GBA. I bought that Nintendo Game Boy gum container.
Hey!
Because it came with the trading cards and it had all 14 of them. And it didn't mention that it had the, it did mention, but I neglected to. It had the checklist in there, which is also a card. So 15 cards. I got the whole set in that one little thing, and it, I was really happy to get that. So that was cool. Other thing I bought Section Z with a hang tab from our pal Eric, who doesn't listen to the show, so it doesn't matter. And I bought a Rygar. I think
Robin, so wait, let's make fun of Eric, because Robin does listen to the show, right? Shout out, Robin.
I just Eric, love that that's like, we always give that context when we talk about Eric. Yeah. Like, it's always Eric, our friend who doesn't listen to the show.
Listen to the show.
Because he's been on the show and used to be like, yeah, I love the show. And now he's like, I don't listen to it. He's too cool for us now. He changed his name to Excite by Comics and Games, and it's more comics and games now for him. So he doesn't care about us.
Then I don't care about him.
No, I mean, he does. Eric's
it's his
nice
business,
guy.
And comics are literally on
Eric.
fire.
I love Eric.
So,
kidding.
anyways, I bought a Rygar as well. So I got the Section Z from Eric, and the reason I got that is because it is a game that I played as a child, and my old version was a hang tab. I remember because I ripped it as a kid, and I was like, oh man, you know what? I would like to have the one that actually matches that. And I bought
Good job, little kid Johnny.
I bought Rygar because, again, love Rygar. I've talked about Rygar at length, and there was one with a hang tab that I found like for a reasonable price. So I got that. Like, I'm spending like $40 on these items, not like hundreds of dollars on like weird hang tabs. So I got that, and
tens of dollars.
I'm just going to shout out the seller, Husker Diaz, I believe his name is. Did an amazing job packing. I think, I messaged him and just asked him like, hey, can you just like, I'll pay more if you need me to, but like, as I always do, can you like just make sure there's a box? And he was like, oh, don't worry. I got you, man. I'm going to make sure this thing is packed amazingly. And it was just like, it was a box within a box, and it was like taped, but it wasn't like tight tape around foam where it's like crushing the box. Everything was like gently and purposefully done. It was very nice packing. It's the best packing I've had in a long time. Eric's game was also packed beautifully. He always does a really nice job. Like, I think Eric usually goes overboard, but he's usually selling things that are like expensive, not like this $40 game he shipped to me. So I think he just has a system for the way he packs stuff. It's always a nice job. So if you were looking, Excite Bike Games, I think he's on eBay as well. That's where I found this item, and then I just messaged him privately. But yeah. That's what I bought. And then, I did buy a banger. It's not here yet though, so I don't know. Should I save it for the next show?
I wait until it's in my hands, Johnny.
Okay, I'll wait. I'll wait. But it is a banger.
Banger.
It's not. It cost me $15. And it's for the Game Boy Color. Can't wait.
Oh no, you already talked about the Game Boy gum trading card set you bought, Johnny.
No. This is for the Game Boy Color. It is a game.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
Sabrina's Zapped.
This is a teaser that is not going to pay off. All right, guys, that's it for the show. Stefan, where can we find you?
Mostly on Twitter now as Art of NP. My
Twitter
Instagram now is mostly
Twitter sucks.
most of my Instagram stuff is now more of a personal vibe. So you can still find me there at Arca1981, but Twitter as Art of NP, also on YouTube as Art of Nintendo Power. I've been doing a lot of content there recently, really trying to put my best foot forward there, really upping my production value. Something fun that I just recently did was we publicly released that Final Fantasy for the NES translation prototype, where almost every single line of dialogue in that game is different from the retail release.
Also,
so not only was it one of the first non-retail ROMs for the original Final Fantasy that's ever been released, but is a very significant difference from the retail game. So that is now publicly available via my friends at Hidden Palace. So if you go there and just look up Final Fantasy Prototype, you will find it there, and you can play it.
Also, Tell them about the cool playthrough Tyler did for you. Come on now.
Oh, yeah. We found so this was, I mentioned this a while ago. It's been some time now, though, but it was around the same time. Well, it was with the same lot that I got my, the most recent NWC gray cart. There were 15 prototypes there, and one of those was Ninja Gaiden 3. And despite the fact that Tyler did play through it, and that's on YouTube, just my channel, right? You didn't put it on your channel too?
I put it on my secondary channel, which is like my don't subscribe to this. It's just like videos I want to put out on YouTube.
Anyway, despite that, after Tyler played through it, and it felt retail, right? Tyler, you were thinking that it's retail?
Yeah, except for graphical glitches, yeah.
There was some definitely glitches in the end boss.
Yeah, it's definitely not the retail ROM. So it's probably very close to final, but is not final. And that's actually was verified by Hidden Palace. You know, they have like a parser that they put ROMs through, and they can actually pull out what the differences are. And the file size is different, and there's definitely some things going on with that. So out of those 15 prototypes, 5 or 6 of them were different from retail. We gave Final Fantasy its own, shining moment in the sun that it's still enjoying. So, but the other games, including the release for that Ninja Gaiden 3 ROM, will be happening in the coming weeks, also from Hidden Palace, and you'll be able to get information about those releases on my Twitter or on my YouTube channel as well. So there you go.
All right.
Free stuff.
Yep, and I'm going to just say, Tyler, you were very good in Ninja Gaiden. Like, I watched you play, I was like, you're good at this. Like, and I don't even know how much practice you have with 3, because I know that's your least favorite of them, but I was like,
of course,
man, you were doing very well.
Yeah, I mean, we probably don't bring it up on the show a lot, Johnny, but do you know that I love Ninja Gaiden 3?
No.
I was hoping that ROM would actually be more different than it was. So there were I read all the text, and I looked at all the power-ups, because one of the things they changed from Japan to the US to make it more difficult, they doubled all the damage, they made continues and when you die way harder, but one of the most dickish things they did is they made the power-ups less useful. So I was hoping that there would be power-up differences, but it was all the same as the US version.
It's incredible that, because we get such a stigma that American games are easy, they dumb them down for America, but a lot of NES games really got just thumped on difficulty when they brought them over here. They're like, oh, it was too easy for Japan. Let's really screw America and make it hard for them. It doesn't get
GamePro used to rate challenge as a category when reviewing games, right? Or one of those magazines did.
Yeah, they did. Maybe Nintendo Power did too, but I remember the little thumbs up.
The ads would be so hard your butt will turn to diamonds.
Yeah.
Didn't that also have to do with the rental market, though? A lot to do with the rental market in the US, because you were legally weren't allowed to rent out games in Japan, so they didn't really have an onus to make them crazy fucking hard, and then they came over to US where you could, and they didn't want people to rent them and finish them in a weekend.
I don't know, but the stereotype is always oh, they made it easier for America. They dumbed it down for America. Americans wouldn't understand gaming, so we made all these changes to make it easier for America. That's the story is never we made it harder for America. It's always we made it easier. So I just think it's interesting in moments where that is definitely not the script. So, like, Mystic Quest is like a big one, like the biggest dumbing down of an RPG, like, or where they homogenize names in like Final Fantasy, Fantasy Legend when it was not a Final Fantasy game. They're just like, call it Final Fantasy so the Americans will buy it. Like, something they understand. There's just a lot of that kind of stuff. Anyways, let's see. Is that it? Did we do it? Tyler, did you say where you are? No, I just said you were good at Ninja Gaiden. You were. Check out Tyler Be Good at Ninja Gaiden in that playthrough on Stefan's channel. And Tyler, tell us where we can find you.
Oh, I'm in World 204, or World 402 of Old School RuneScape. I'm doing the Trailblazer League.
Okay, could you tell us where to find you on the socials?
Nobody.
Well, you can't, because I haven't been posting anything on social media.
No, you sure haven't.
For a long ass time.
You've posted as much as I have.
I'm default GEN. Send me a private message because I respond to those even if I don't post. I don't post because it's like high effort to like go and take an interesting picture of something, or not to take an interesting picture of something, to take a picture of something interesting. But
that's not true, Tyler. We need to be bringing it back, or everyone's just going to see picture of water graded stuff. We have to help. Instagram.
You're right. I have to help Instagram with my content. My content is what's feeding Instagram. Me and my 1,000 followers.
Yeah, well, Tyler, I'll take your 1,000 followers. They're good people. They like interesting stuff,
and they all listen to the show. What's up, guys? Love you. Yeah. Don't forget.
You do
to
have
like
a personal relationship with your audience. It's pretty awesome.
So, all right, and you can find me. Gosh, almost nowhere. I also hibernated for a little while there. I'm back to posting some stuff, but you will find me on Instagram. Weirdly, in November, I was more active on Video Game Sage than I was on Instagram, even though I was mainly just reading and not really, I was like giving some thumbs up on stuff. Cause I was like, oh yeah, let me catch up on some reading through this forum. Cause I haven't been here in a while. Some good stuff in there. I love catching up. But I'm always sad that I'm so behind. That's it. That's you can find me there. Johnny there, Johnny_Iuchi on Instagram. You had one thing.
Are you going to be mad if I hype something? Can I hype something?
I mean, Stefan, didn't you just hype something? Don't you come on here and hype something every episode?
No, hyping something that people can go buy, and there's a bunch of, but it's actually a really cool thing. Frank Cifaldi pointed this out to me, who is, Frank Cifaldi, if you don't know him, runs the Video Game History Foundation, is probably one of the biggest gaming magazine scholars there is. He pointed out to me on eBay, you can find it, and I don't have an affiliate with the seller, but they have a ton of copies of this, and it's new old stock. It's the Game Player's Guide to Nintendo. And it's a yellow cover with a red edging, and it's got a genie on the bottom and some pictures of people. You'll see it. It's actually the first like syndicate or like widely published Nintendo themed magazine that there is, and this guy's got a truckload of copies of it brand new for $17, and I just think it's an awesome opportunity to get something that's actually like historically relevant. And actually this is a earlier cover because they say Nintendo across the top in gigantic font, and Nintendo actually took issue with that, so they then reprinted the magazine with a smaller font. So this is the original printing of the Game Player's Guide to Nintendo, and again was the first Nintendo-centric magazine that was widely published outside of like zines and stuff like that. So it's super cheap. They're brand new, and they're all over eBay. And I recently picked one up, and I thought it was like a really cool moment that like, hey, who knows if these are going to be like available. It's one of those things where it's like once this guy sells out of however many hundreds of copies he has, you'll probably never see it again. So I just wanted to like shout that out as something that like people can go get now, and it's just like an actual interesting find for very little money.
Yep. I
already bought one.
They are from Finest Seller Online on eBay.
Yes.
Yep. They don't have a lot of feedback, but Stefan has successfully got one, and so did Tyler. So
no, I literally bought it while Stefan was talking about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You can also search around. Sometimes you will find it for lower price, but that's new old stock, right? So you're getting that, and it's also, you're getting the first print because there is some variance to that because there's like a little like white sticker on the front. There's also a version with a red sticker on the front. So I don't know which is first of those two, but you'll have to figure it out.
This guy's got good stuff.
This is the first.
Like I'm going through. He's got like a brand new Model 2 Sega CD. He's got like vintage Nintendo hats, sealed copies
got some
of SimCity.
Yeah. This guy got some tapes. If you want metal tapes, remember when that was like a thing? If you wanted quality recordings, when you were going to steal music from the radio.
What's a tape? Is that like an MP3 player, Johnny? Is that like an iPod?
It's a cassette. It's that thing that you. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, like a mini disc, of course, Johnny. I understand.
No. It like think about those game systems that you probably put like maybe you used them to play like computer games back in the day.
Oh, of course, the Commodore 64. What I grew up on, those cassettes.
Yeah, those ones. Yeah, he's also got a bunch of handhelds. Like I'm not gonna like how I hate this kind of stuff, but I will say there's a sweet 1943 one. And a Wizards and Warriors. Wizards and Warriors, I feel like, is a classically underrated game. But I think the best thing this guy's got, like, I don't want to like throw my hat in the ring for just anything. But it's Women's Penitentiary 10 VHS new. You could also he's also got number 9 and number 8 if you're looking to get into the series. So, there are some porno tapes that this guy is selling if you were interested.
He's also selling a truckload of pallets. Like, what is this guy?
I don't know.
I think we're getting off top. We're getting into a little bit Collector's Quest After Dark, Johnny.
Yeah, he's got stuff from the 80s.
The magazine thing. I actually meant to bring that up at the top of the show, and I thought it was genuinely neat and wanted to impart that. Yeah, but I didn't mean to like make it a thing.
No, it's fine. So again, this guy, he's a seller who has stuff from the 80s. He's got a lot of different stuff. Check him out. All right, that's it for the show. We did it. I hope you liked 5 golden things. Look for us to other send-ups of other dates. 2 partridges in a pear tree. 2-player games. Most collectible 2-player games coming to you maybe next year. All right, that's it for the show. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time. And have a happy holiday.
Johnny, say it.
We did it.
Bye.
Okay.